Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I have some pretty good races on the Manufacturers Cup in Group 3 at Lagos on Saturday, and I hope you guys enjoy. As you see, we are starting in P15. Our qualifying was pretty horrid. I made a lot of mistakes and didn't do a good, clean lap. Right off the bat, we're going to jump up one place. It looks like the Supra just didn't get the power down as we got off the line. I will say this first lap is pretty hectic. So going into turn 1, again, just getting one place and looking for an overtake out of the center S's. Sorry, those aren't the center S's. Turn 1 and 2 and 3. Down this back straight, pretty easy overtake on the inside. Spotter braking point, don't want to overshoot it like this R8 is going to do. Almost goes, or comes back onto the track and takes everyone out. But clean so far. As you look ahead, we have a big group of cars that are just fighting for position. Looks like we have a Supra that goes wide off the track, looking for an overtake on this Ferrari on our outside. Again, just trying to be super clean, trying not to get any type of damage or penalties or anything like that. Tucking in behind the Ferrari. Don't want to rear end anyone and cause a huge pile up. Looks like another Supra, or sorry, a Porsche is off, so we are up to 10th place. Coming out of one of the final corners, trying to get on the power as soon as possible. Didn't get a good exit, but we are still within the slipstream, just barely though. Maybe gonna look for a move into turn 1, but this Lexus is very difficult to get the power down on the exit of corners. It definitely likes to step out, so definitely going to try and work on that throughout these races. Again, just taking it nice and simple through turn 1, trying to get a good exit onto the back straight. Looks like the Ferrari went a little bit wide. That's going to give us a run all the way down here, and hopefully we can make a move on the outside into, what is that, 2, 3, 4, turn 4, I believe. Spotter braking point. Try to hook it around the outside. Looks like he comes back just a little bit. We could have gotten in front of him if we got the power down just a little sooner, but I just didn't want to run wide and get a penalty. Looks like he messed up his braking point, so I'm just going to slide up on the inside through these fast corners. Alright, looking ahead at the group in front, we have 2 people that have 0.5 penalties for track limits. And then the Corvette is just all over the place. Wasn't really looking for a move here, but caught the guy lacking, sleeping a little bit, and decided to go up the inside. A little squirrely on the exit of that corner, but luckily we were able to keep him behind us. Coming up to the main straight, we are going to gain another 2 positions with these penalties involved. So just after 2 laps, we have gone from 15th all the way to 6th. So pretty decent job just staying clean, not trying to push anything too early or cause any accidents or get any penalties, etc, etc. Alright, now we are looking at behind us, trying to defend a little bit, not getting the best of runs through the first set of S's, but it looks like we are going to hold him off down the straight. He may look for an overtake around the inside or outside, but looks like I got a little bit better exit than he did. Again, not trying to push this wide, don't want to get a penalty for track limits, I mean. And it looks like the guy behind made a pretty big mistake and dropped him back about a second or so. And then jumping forward to all the way at the end of the race. The rest of the race was just pretty easy going, just staying consistent with the cars in front, kind of caught up to him a little bit, but overall a pretty good race. As you will see on the main straight, this Supra in P5 looks like he actually ran out of fuel, so we are actually going to get another position right at the line for a P5, making up 10 places in the race. Super consistent race, super happy with that result. And yeah, not a whole lot of drama or anything like that. Switching over to the second race, you're going to see something odd. as you see that flash, looks like someone got a jump start, maybe been a glitch or anything, but you can see him streaming off into the distance. First time I saw that, I was like, what? Like, that's not fair at all. He's already into turn 1 and we haven't even left yet. But it looks like he may have had some internet connection problems or something like that, because a little later, as we come out of, I think, turn 2, it looks like he disconnects from the server. Anyways, starting in a P6, our qualifying was a lot better this time. Looking for maybe a few moves on these opening laps, but nothing too major. Sorry, starting P5, my apologies. Could have gone for a move, but a little too far back. Again, just taking it nice and simple. Don't want to push anything, don't want to rush anything, get any penalties or make contact or anything like that. Getting a nice run on this guy. Hopefully I can look up on the inside through these fast corners. Push him just a little bit wide. Looks like we are going to hook up with the apexes and then possibly make a move into third or second place. But also, again, trying to defend from the guy behind, because he's there. So far, looks like it's pretty easy going for the at least top 5-6 cars. Just trying to maintain a gap right now, trying to possibly catch up to look for a move, but pretty easy opening lap, made up 1 position, so that's always a positive, and hopefully we can keep that going and maybe look for a podium. But it looks like as of right now, P1, 2, and 3 are kind of starting to pull away a little bit. I would definitely say the Lexus is not the strongest car on this track. It is, like I said before, it's very difficult to get the power down on some of the corner exits without the rear end stepping out. But once you get used to it, you can get a little bit better at it. As you see, I was moving the brake balance because I noticed in the first race that my front right tire was starting to really go by lap 20 or so. So I was going to bring that brake balance back to hopefully conserve a little bit more of tire wear, and that way we have a little bit more grip into the final stages of the race. And as you see, there's no pit stops that you need to do. It is pretty much flat out through the entire race, no changing tires, or in a few cases you may have to watch your fuel gauge, but in the Lexus it does pretty well in fuel or gas mileage, I mean. But looking back ahead, looks like P1 and 2 are starting to pull away from P3, and I'm starting to reel him in a little bit. Looks like he's made a few mistakes here and there, but nothing too crazy, no big incidents or anything like that. Again, coming out of that either final corner or second to last corner, I don't know what counts as a corner or not. Definitely just making sure I'm putting the power down as evenly as possible, not letting the rear end step out, getting a good exit onto that main straight, and possibly maybe looking for an opportunity to overtake P3 this lap, but still pretty far back. And it looks like P5 is dropping back as well. It looks like about 1.1 seconds behind, so we're keeping a pretty good gap from the guy behind, as well as keeping up with the guy in third. Looking a little bit ahead, it looks like P1 and 2 are starting to fight just a little bit, which will invite me and P3 into the mix, which was surprising because I would think that they would just want to work together to drive off into the distance and then start fighting near the end. But you know, everyone runs their races a little bit differently. But again, just trying to keep up with P3, keeping a good gap, hoping for a few mistakes here and there, maybe give me an opportunity to look for an overtake, but still very early stages into the race. Only lap 3, getting ready to be lap 4 out of 26, so not going to try and push anything, just try to be consistent, have no penalties, and go from there. Get a pretty good exit out of this corner, but again, the Porsche does get a lot better of an acceleration out of the corners, so I was kind of lacking in that department. Alright, so we are going to be jumping ahead to lap 5 a little bit. And it looks like P3 definitely started to pull away from me. Looks like he had a little bit more less tire wear than me. And unfortunately, as I was saying before, it is very difficult with this Lexus to make sure you get the power down as evenly as possible. And I made a mistake coming out of the second to last corner, dropping me down to P6. Just that little mistake could, if I didn't make that mistake, it could have kept me in the running for maybe a podium. But now we just have to shift gears to looking at defending from P7 and P8, which are climbing up my rear end right now. With 30 tires, trying to take these center S's as cleanly as possible, trying to get the power down as soon as possible, like I keep saying. Looks like P7 is definitely coming up behind me. He's definitely going to be looking for an overtake into the turn 4. Looks like he may be going for the inside, but looks like he just backs out just a little bit. He let me know he was there. Again, just trying to defend as much as possible, but yeah, not lose as much time as possible. But yeah, as you can see, just those little mistakes can cost you greatly in a long-term race like this, as well as any race in my opinion. Looking at these center S's, just take it nice and easy, just trying to defend as much as possible, but yet not lose time as much as possible. It's definitely kind of difficult to overtake in these center S's. The only time you can really overtake is if someone makes a big mistake and just gets their line completely wrong. Coming into this hairpin, got on the grass just a little bit, but we were able to catch it and hold onto that position. Trying to get a better exit than, I believe it's the Lancer behind us. It looks like we are putting the power down better than he is, and he's starting to drop off a little bit. Weirdly, it looks like someone has pulled into the pits to either change tires or get more fuel in. He didn't think he was going to be able to make it to the end of the race or something. But that was a mistake by him, so we will gladly take a free position, which will promote us to P5. Again, at that point, I was just checking my fuel, seeing if I was needing to fuel save or anything like that. Jumping forward to lap 16, looks like we were closing up to P4. We kind of dropped P6 and P7 behind us. We probably dropped them off. Looks like about 8 seconds or so. We are definitely in the hunt for a possible podium, maybe, if the top 3 guys have a mistake or two. And it looks like the guy in P4 is definitely struggling for tire wear or has dirty tires somehow, because he's struggling to get the power down as soon as possible as he can. And as you can see, we are gaining on him as pretty fast, pretty rapid. Possibly going to be looking for an overtake on the main straight, maybe an overtake sooner if he has his lines wrong through these center S's. But overall, not too bad. Again, just staying pretty consistent between that time span of jump. I didn't get any penalties or run wide or anything like that. Trying to get a good exit out of this, in my opinion, final corner, but I guess it's the second to last corner. Not too bad, pretty good, within the slipstream of the guy in front, just barely though. Hopefully, like I said, we could possibly look for an overtake on the main straight or at the turn 1. We're going to look to the right to spot our braking point about 75 meters or so before the beginning of turn 1. Trying to get a good exit out of these first S's. When a little bit oversteery, tire grip is definitely going to be starting to kick in now. As you see, unfortunately the guy in front got a better exit. Hopefully he's able to make a little bit of mistake here and there, see if we can close back up on him. It looks like he's really struggling through turn 4. We made a little bit of mistake by going a little bit wide, not really hitting the apex. But he's definitely feeling the pressure. Hopefully gonna, again, keep saying, looking for an overtake possibility. Not really gonna force anything at this time of the race. I mean, it's starting to get down to crunch time, but we still have a few more laps before we really need to start duking it out and fighting for a position or anything like that. Again, just trying to take the most optimal line through the center S's, trying to keep the speed up as much as possible without oversteering and losing traction on the rear. Into a heavy braking zone. Getting a pretty decent exit, but unfortunately he's just going to pull away with the acceleration of the Porsche. Gonna be jumping forward just a little bit to lap 18. As you will see, there's a yellow flag. It looks like, I believe it was P3 had a mistake, and that brought him into contention for a possible podium for us, as well as P4. Jumping forward again to the beginning of lap 21. Looks like P3 and P4 are going to be duking it out this lap. Looks like it is starting to become crunch time, trying to get a good exit out of the first set of S's, trying to keep in the slipstream and possibly look for an overtake maneuver into is that turn 4, I believe? Sorry, turn 4, yes. Getting real late on the brakes, not really hitting the apex as much as I wanted to. As you can see from the bottom left, our tire wear is really starting to kick in, especially on that front right, and hopefully we are able to manage that to where we can keep a little bit more grip than the guys ahead of us, because they would be fighting. Ooh, getting a little squirrely in P4. Looks like they're definitely going to be starting to fight, and that is going to be making them lose more time to where I could possibly look for an overtake like that opportunity. I could have done a little bit of a switchback, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, as well as oversteer into this long left-hander. But again, trying to look for a good opportunity to overtake on the main straight, getting right behind P4 on the apex of the final corner, or second to last corner, if I could speak. But back to the action, we are well within the slipstream, possibly going to look for a move into turn 1. Don't really want to try anything and cause any mayhem. I probably could have broke a little bit later, but I decided different and to tuck back in through the first set of S's to try and get a better exit. Unfortunately, got that snap of oversteer again, which is going to lose me time. Looking back at it now, I probably should have gone into or broke a little bit late into turn 1, trying to get the guy off his racing line, but you live and you learn. We are still within the opportunity of getting a podium here. We didn't make any big mistakes to take us out of contention or anything like that. Gonna be looking for, again, another opportunity to overtake, but yet not really trying to force it just yet. We are starting to get to the point where it is starting to be Rubbins is racing and all of that. But it looks like the pressure is going to get to P4, and he just gets on the power too soon, too early. That's going to run him wide onto the grass and spin himself out, which promotes us to P4. Unfortunately, after that, P3 was able to build a little bit of a gap, and we weren't really able to catch up to him. But we are going to come home in a P4. Pretty good race. A few mistakes here and there, but overall I'm very happy with that race, as well as the first race. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.